BCW faithful and first-time viewers, welcome to the Curtain Call, a weekly pro wrestling show that gets you up to speed with everything going on in the world of recombination wrestling. And by now, if you haven't done so already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe below and follow Recombination Wrestling on all social media platforms. And if you're asking yourself, who is this ruggedly, and I mean ruggedly handsome individual with these melodious tones piping right through your speakerphone? Well, I am your host, the host that covers the most, Jimmy J. And now that I got myself got that out of the way, we can talk BCW. And faithful, this week, we have another exclusive interview lined up for you with a woman that's just mean. She's meaner than mean. She's damn near cruel. The real mean girl, Dani Jordyn. I mean, she's blessed us with her presence in BCW. She has blessed the fans of NWA and AEW more recently. And Dani talks about that and much more in this interview. So let's not wait any longer. Let's get right to that interview with the Burn Book Bully, the real mean girl, Dani Jordyn.
All right, faithful. My guest this week has not only graced us with her presence at BCW, but she's also blessed the fans of the NWA and AEW recently. She's Georgia's two-time Female Wrestler of the Year, the Burn Book Bully, the real mean girl, Dani Jordyn. Dani, how have you been?
What's up, man? I've been good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing the best I can over here.
Yeah.
Glad to see you doing well during this time.
I'm trying. Doing as best as I can, you know. Just bored in the house.
Oh, God. I think we all are right now. But, you know, you and I, we met earlier this year. Queen of the North 2, BCW. You had this composition book, this notebook with female wrestlers' faces cut out and posted on these pages. And you called the Burn Book. Explain the Burn Book. What inspired you?
The movie Mean Girls. Duh.
I should have known.
Yeah, I mean, it's that simple. The movie Mean Girls. That's it. Period. It's the Burn Book. It's what I put people in there that I don't like or that have disrespected me or hit me in any way. Pretty much almost everyone that I stepped foot in the ring with, I just put them in there because I can. And I just write mean things about them.
Is this like some sort of voodoo?
No, it's not voodoo. It's just my way of coping with my aggression so that I don't, you know, go too overboard. So I just write it down and express my feelings. I guess it's like a journal, but of really mean, inappropriate things about people that I don't like.
Okay, and you said it's the movie Mean Girls it was inspired by. And, you know, I feel like acting and wrestling, they kind of go hand in hand. And many people don't know this about you, but you're also an actress. You had a role in Baywatch 2017 with The Rock. Talk to us about that experience and what made you decide to take on acting.
I wouldn't say it was a role. I was just an extra in the background. So it was pretty simple and I didn't really do that much. I basically got paid to go tan on the beach and just be in the background and have fun for like 2 weeks straight. So it was cool. That was the first one that I ever did as far as extra work goes. Now I've done like 2 more after that, or 2 or 3, I don't know. And it was back when I was just working. I wasn't wrestling, so I just had a lot of time to do whatever. And my mom saw a flyer for a casting call to be an extra in Baywatch, and she knows that I love The Rock. That's my idol. So I just applied and sent an email, sent my information, pictures, whatever. And then I got it. And then I did it, and it was fun.
This is like something you just did on the side? This is not like a dream of yours?
Oh, no, it was definitely a dream. Well, not was, but it still is. It's just like wrestling is my main focus now. So, you know, before that, I thought that my path was like marketing and advertising. And then I didn't go to college. And then my path was like, okay, well, break out into acting in some way, because I've always wanted to do that. Even since I was a kid, I used to like take magazine articles and like for like ads, like an Oreo one specifically. I remember that. And me and my friend would just read out the Oreo ad as like we were acting out in a commercial for Oreos, you know? So it's always been something that I've wanted to do. And then, I don't know, The Rock has always been my career idol. Like, fantastic in wrestling, fantastic in Hollywood. He's a great businessman. He has like, he's dabbled in like all sorts of different things. So that's what I want to do. Like, I don't have one specific goal that I want to achieve. I have lots of different ones and all across the board. So they're completely like unrelated things. And he's been able to do it. And I feel like I can do it too. So whenever I actually got to see him in person, when I was on the set, it was just kind of like something inside me just clicked. And I was like, I just want to do what he does. And maybe that's the right path for me. And then I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to wrestle. And I was already thinking about it ahead of time. And that was like another extra push, you know?
Yeah.
So a lot of, I don't know, I was just inspired by the women's revolution and all that stuff going on. And I was like, maybe it's not a silly little dream anymore. Maybe I can actually achieve it and go and do that and be a wrestler. And after I saw him, I was like, yep, it's going to happen.
So young Dani Jordyn, you wanted to be a wrestler. And then you were thinking about it. And then there was The Rock and the women's revolution actually confirmed that this is what you want to do.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not even like I talked to him at all, you know, like he would like turn around and talk to us and stuff in between takes or whatever. But like, it was more so of just seeing like how genuine and humble he is as a person. Like, they tell you not to talk to them, like the actors and stuff. And he would just openly talk to you, you know, or like, you know, make jokes towards us and stuff like that, include us in videos on his phone and like, you know, smile and wave at you specifically, even though like technically you're not allowed to, or they tell you not to, you know, because you don't want to seem like a weird fan. But like, seeing that, I was just like, man, this is like the biggest guy in the world, you know, like the most popular guy in the world. And he's just the nicest person. And like, that's what I want to be. And with the whole women's evolution that was happening, it was around like 2015, 2016. Both of these things is when it like really clicked for me that I wanted to do it. But after like Sasha, Charlotte, and Becky got called up all at the same time, that day, I just remember that specifically and like that feeling that I had watching it. And I was just like, this is something really special, you know, and not to forget Bailey either. Just, she didn't debut the same day, but like all four of them are women that I look up to. Like, those are the ones that made me realize that it's actually attainable for me. So.
Oh, it definitely is. I seen you in the ring. You're an incredible athlete, and I think even better on the microphone, which we'll talk about later on. But
thank you.
I want you to talk to us about your first match you had and what was going through your head and how you felt afterwards.
Man, I don't even remember that far back now. It's only been like 3 years, but still, I feel like I was really nervous. And I think like technically my first match was with AR Fox, my trainer, because everyone has their first match with him at the school at WWA4. But I was really nervous, and really, I was actually injured too when I was supposed to debut. Well, I was getting over an injury, so we didn't like fully have a match, but it was more so of we were about to, and then he attacked me and stuff like that. So, so we did that, and then it was really to prepare me for my first official like match, and that was with Priscilla Kelly, I think, in Florida for like FIP or something like that, and that was really cool. It was really nerve-wracking because I'd never been like, I don't know, I felt like that was a really big deal for me because it was a like really notable promotion too at the time. So oh wait, what happened? I think I was doing well now looking back on it because I've seen like clips of it before or like recently, and I'm like, oh, that's terrible. I look like crap. And my gear is awful. Like, it was just all across the board, like bad and gross. But I had a lot of fun. I was safe. It was fine. Like, everything went well. I don't think I forgot anything. And we just like, we got through it. We had a good time. And she was really great to work with. And I don't know. I think after I got in the ring, like some of the nerves went away and it was just kind of like smooth sailing from there, if I remember correctly. And then afterwards too, it was just totally fine. And it was a good first match to have. So,
well, let's fast forward 2020. Vision's clear. You had an opportunity to work with the NWA. Walk us through that process. How did you got this opportunity?
I got it. Well, so they were having the Circle Squared thing, right?
Yeah.
which I think is still continuing. And they basically, one of the promotions that I work for, Queens of Combat, someone that works with NWA had seen me there, Maureen, and she does a lot of the important NWA stuff. So she reached out to me, and Zane, the Queens of Combat guy, they both were like messaging me like, we, you know, obviously we are a fan of your work and blah, blah, blah. And like, we think that you'd be really well at NWA. Would you like to do this? And I was like, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I just did it. And I actually didn't think that I was going to get it. I was ready to like submit my information and everything. Like, here's my resume, blah, blah, blah. And I pretty much just got it without like needing to send that in, just because I had the right people like by my side to back me, and I had that support, and they trusted in me and everything. So plus I think they had all that anyway from the Queens of Combat stuff, because I was like, hey, can I order your promotion? And I just like threw it their way. So so they've had all that anyways, and it was just smooth. It was smooth sailing. Thankfully, I got it that way, and because I was ready to submit my application for the Circle Squared regardless. And I think I actually had planned on doing that a couple days prior to getting that message. And then I had to update my resume still. So I put it off, and then I got that message, and I was like, whoa, look at that. It worked out.
You just thought about it, bang, right into existence.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I seen the match. It was you versus Freya. It was solid. I noticed that there was a huge size difference, though. But I love the way that, you know, you were targeting her knees in the match. I think for me, more than a match, it was the promo that you cut beforehand. And man, I was watching. I got to tell you, Dani, you delivered it so effortlessly. Do you like? It just comes to you? You free flow, or do you practice beforehand?
I definitely thought about it like every second of that day because I was so nervous. Because I've never had that that style of a show before. Like, it's very unique, NWA. So, like, you go out there, you go to the podium, you go to promo, you say whatever, you wrestle, and then usually you go back to the podium after. And, like, that's so unorthodox to me. And I was like, oh, my God, I'm so scared. I've never done this before. I'm, like, super on the spot, you know? And plus, it was the pressure of, like, no one knew who I was. And the whole point of the Circle Squared was to just, like, go out there from scratch, introduce yourself, put over yourself, say whatever you need to say to, like, make sure that everyone watching you knows what you are and, like, who your character is and your attitude and everything like that, so they can judge, like, if they like you or not and blah, blah, blah. But, like, that was really scary for me, you know, because it's not like they knew who I was ahead of time. It's just like, I come out, surprise, it's Dani. And then I have to talk, and then I have to, like, you know, make them like me or hate me. What's that?
They were chanting your name.
They were, yeah, that was cool. Well, thankfully, too, it's in Atlanta, which is where I live, so I work around here often, and, you know, it was cool that I had, like, people out there that knew me, so that was, thank God for that. But Freya, man, she was from Alaska, and she was telling me there's, like, 10 wrestlers in Alaska, so that's in, like, one school, so that's crazy that she came from that, and, yeah, I had a lot of fun. It was cool. But that promo, I was definitely, like, super nervous for it. But then once I got out there and I started talking, I was just like, okay, I think I got it. And I was going through it, and there was this one part specifically, I forget where it was now, but I bet if I watch it back, I'll be like, oh, that's the part where I kind of, like, stopped for a second because I was like, oh, God, what do I say now? And then I just kept going. But, you know, I was scared. I'm always scared of stuff like that. Like, people say that I talk really well on promos and I sound, like, very confident and everything, but always scared. It's always scary.
You always get those, you know, butterflies in your stomach. You get nervous. You know, you're on that stage. People watching you. You don't want to make a mistake. I mean, especially nowadays with social media, they're going to take it. They're going to put it all over the place. And
I thought it was really cool that when they aired the episode, they had people watching it and judging it from the promo, like Eli Drake and Sienna. I had no idea that they were going to do that either. So when I watched it, I was just as, like, surprised as everybody else. I was like, oh, man, they're actually, like, going to give me advice afterwards, you know, and I wanted to hear more advice because it was great stuff. Because, like, you know, just, like, they were 100% right in the promo work and everything. Like, the way I ended it needed an exclamation point and all that good stuff, like Eli said. So, so I took those notes, and I'm going to run with that, and hopefully I can, like, just do better next time. because I'm very hard on myself. So when I watched the promo, I was like, oh, it's terrible. But everyone liked it, so that's good.
I'm the same way. I try to be, you know, we always got to, you know, there's always room for improvement. We got to smooth out those edges. But I think that, I mean, you did a damn good job, my opinion.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. And I want to segue, though, to AEW now, because you were part of the AEW Dark on 2 occasions, first against Chris Statlander and then more recently Hikaru Shida. Now, everybody wants to know this. They've been reaching out to me. Jimmy, ask her, did you sign a contract with All Elite Wrestling?
No, I did not. I'm not one of them. I mean, hopefully in the future, you know, I think I'm on good terms and everything, and I just got to keep doing what I'm doing and, you know, see where life takes me, wherever I can sign with, you know, I'd be happy to get any offers anywhere. But yeah.
What was that feeling like being on the AEW stage?
Very cool. I mean, it was awesome. Like, even the first time I got to do it when I had the match with Nyla on Dynamite, that was awesome too. Like, it feels very comfortable when I'm there, which is great. And a lot of the people are awesome, and they, you know, they're very supportive and welcoming and friendly. And it helps that I know some of the people already going into it from other shows, you know, from indie wrestling and stuff like that. But even the people that you don't know, they just like make you feel like you belong there, you know, because it's not like you're just coming in and doing nothing, you know, like you're coming in and you're helping them and you're supporting them, like you're there for them. So I don't know, they're very thankful for it. And it's a very relaxed environment. Like, it's one of the best places that I've been to. So it's awesome.
I'm glad to hear that. I've heard a lot of good stories about AEW behind the scenes. But I do have right now, switching gears, a couple of random wrestling questions for you.
Okay.
Who's the toughest opponent you stepped in the ring with?
Oh, that's a good question. The toughest?
Yeah, for a shoot.
That's a hard question to answer. I feel like maybe the toughest one was like when I would wrestle Fox, I guess. It took me a long time to answer that, but I'm just like thinking.
Oh, no worries, yeah. You got
it. But it's not in a bad way at all, because he's just like, he's a big name, and he's been around for a long time, and he's really, really good and really talented, and like he can pretty much work on anybody's level. So like coming from that school and, you know, wrestling with him a bunch of times, it was like, I felt like I had a really big expectation to like do really well with him. And I just felt like a lot of like pressure whenever I would wrestle with him, because then I know it's going to go on YouTube and stuff like that. So I have to like look good. I have to look crisp and clean and whatever. We haven't had a match in like a long time, but when we did, you know, it was a lot of pressure to live up to that, you know, just to be able to keep up with him and look good and everything. Cause he like really makes the match for like the students. So, you know, he's not a selfish wrestler at all. So he's very much there for you and to make you look strong and you look good. So that was really cool, but super easy to work with, and just like, I don't know, but I would say tough in a way of like, he pushes you to your limit. So he wants you to have like whatever kind of dream match you want to have. Does that make sense? Like,
no, it does.
Yeah, like whatever you want to do, that's like the first thing he asks you. Like, all right, what do you want to do? Like, what should we have this match be about? You know? So, yeah.
Helps you develop your character.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, who haven't you faced that you would love to lock up with?
Literally anybody. Like, I'll wrestle whoever. But my main one is Kylie Ray.
Kylie Ray, why?
We were supposed to. Why? Because she's amazing. She's so talented. She's like, when I think of her, I think of like the standard, you know, like she's really good. And I've always been a fan of hers, even when I first started wrestling and I first found out about her. Because when I first started wrestling, I had no idea about indie wrestling at all. I didn't know that existed. So when I found that out, everyone was telling me like who to watch and blah, blah, blah. And one of the first people said for me to watch was Kylie. Then the other one was Toni Storm. So Toni Storm's another top favorite of mine. So I became big fans of theirs. But Kylie I've met a couple of times. She's super nice, super sweet. And she's just so talented. She's really good. And she definitely inspires me. Like, she made me run more, like, just from watching her on social media and stuff like that. Like, we're not even that close. But it's like somebody that I look up to, kind of. And, like, I just want to, like, you know, she's so genuine. I just like genuine people. So that's a big factor. But she's super talented, and we're actually supposed to have a match back in, what's this month? May?
And we're losing track of days. I know it's getting.
Yeah, was it March? I think it was March 1st. We were supposed to have a match at Southern Honor here in Georgia, and that was like my dream match. You know, it was finally going to happen on a cool stage. It would be on video, be on YouTube, and then it's gone now. So we obviously didn't have it, but I'm hoping that it'll be rescheduled and we can still do that because I was so excited. So, you know, hopefully that'll happen.
I think so. I think
it's available again. We just got to work with our schedule.
I'll tell you, even at BCW over here, we can make that happen, hopefully, for you.
Oh, yeah.
And if not here, maybe, you know, elsewhere, I'm pretty sure it'll come to fruition because, you know, right now it's kind of like a reset. Most things have stopped.
I know, crazy.
I know. But I have good faith that, you know, we're going to be back up and running shortly. I mean, right now, during this time, mental health, I talk about this with everybody right now. It's important. Because there's a lot of people going through different things because of this. And I seen a recent tweet that you put out there, and I want to read it real quick. You said, suicide is something that hits too close to home. If there's anyone out there that is feeling unwanted, unloved, or anything of that sort, you're in this world for a reason, a purpose. You are loved. Please be strong. Reach out for help. We're here for you and love you. And now I got to ask you, can you elaborate on that statement that you made that it said, you know, hit too close to home? What happened?
Not necessarily me personally. I mean, I feel like majority of people have had any kind of thoughts like that at some point in your life, and like I've even had those thoughts before too. But I definitely live by the phrase "everything happens for a reason." So whatever you're going through right now, anything that happens to you, even if it's like the biggest, like, can I curse?
Yeah, do whatever you want.
Even if it's the biggest shitstorm ever happening to you, like, I believe in, like, heavily. If there's a bunch of bad things coming at you right now, it's just a way for something good is going to happen after that. There's going to be a rainbow at the end of the storm, you know? So everything happens for a reason, and whatever's going on in your life, you just need to, like, take a step back. You might not know what it is right now. You might not know what it is, like, a month from now when it all kind of, like, goes away. But, like, eventually you're going to figure out, and you're going to have that epiphany, like, oh, man, all that stuff happened to me to lead me to this right here. And, like, that's what's going to make you happy. You know, you just have to have, like, an ultimate end goal. Whatever it is that you want, whatever that is, do things that, like, make you happy. Do whatever it is that makes you happy. Decorate your room. It doesn't matter. Like, cut your hair, color your hair, whatever. Just do things that make you feel good, and just think about your ultimate goal in life, and, like, you can get through whatever you need to. Even if you feel like you can't really talk to anybody, write it down. Tell yourself in the mirror, like, if you don't have anyone to go to, that's what I've done. Like, you're here for a reason. You can't leave this earth. Like, there's a purpose for you. You're going to make a difference in somebody's life. And you just have to stay strong for yourself, you know, not just for others, but, like, be completely selfish about it. Just, like, do this for you, not for everybody else. Do it for you. But, like, it hits close to home because I had a friend that committed suicide. His mom actually did also. And he just could never get over that. And it just ate him alive inside. And, like, we knew that he was going through that and that he was very upset about it, but it had been so long that after I graduated high school, and I think he had graduated as well, it was a few years after we left high school. He was like a grade younger than me, and we were talking. He reached back out to me. Like, we just tried to, like, reconnect as friends. And, like, he was living in, I think, Charleston, South Carolina or something like that. And I was, like, in Savannah. So we weren't that far away. And it was, like, 2 hours, I think, something like that. I don't remember. I don't know travel very well. But we were going to, like, make plans and hang out and meet up again and reconnect after school ended, you know? Like, yeah. It was just, like, a happy conversation. And then a couple days later, I hear the news, and I was just like, where did this come from? Like, he seemed like he was doing fine. Everything was well. And I don't know if that, like, people say that that's a sign, like, when you're just super happy and everything. But when you're, like, making plans to hang out with somebody and then that happens, that's, like, the most heartbreaking thing. So it's stuff like that. Then it's also, you know, friends or family that have had those thoughts that you have to kind of like talk them off the edge, basically, in a to put that in like a metaphor. But yeah, I'm getting like choked up now because it's kind of like it's real, you know. So
it's something that we deal with, unfortunately. But I believe everything does happen for a reason, and I believe that, you know, we need to spread positive energy right now. And well, on a lighter note, I know that from what I hear, there's nobody more positive than this individual, Mr. Positive Page himself, DDP. Now, I know that you worked. I don't know if you still work with the DDPY studios, do you?
We're closed right now, so not really.
I want to know how you linked up, how you got into the yoga studio, and your experience over there.
I had a friend that was working there before I started. Ike Cross. He was a wrestler, but he's not doing it anymore. But we were talking one day, and he was just telling me about the job and everything like that. And then like I was working at Chipotle at the time. I was a manager over there, and then I hated my life, so I quit. And I quit to like have more time for wrestling, to commit to that, because it was just eating up all my time. I moved to Atlanta for wrestling training, and then like I was managing also, so I didn't have an open schedule to train like I wanted to and focus on that, because like I moved here for that, you know.
Yeah.
I have a time frame that I want to like reach my dreams at, and it was holding me back. So I left. I quit that, and then I was struggling a lot for money, for a job. I couldn't find another job. I didn't want to be in food service anymore because it sucks, and like it was just eating me alive inside. It was like making me depressed. Yeah. So I got another job, then whatever, went back to Chipotle. Sorry, this is a long story.
No, listen, the floor is yours.
So I went back there. I can't get rehired in as a manager, so I started as a crew member again, which is totally fine. I was like, yes, do that, because I don't want to have the management commitment right now. I don't have the time for it. And like, this is what my schedule is. Can you work with it? And they were able to do that. So I did that, and I was just as a crew member, whatever. And then I just felt the same thing again, like right from day one, depressing. Like I would walk in the building and it would be like, I'm dead inside. Like I have nothing in common with these people that I work with. They don't know they know what I do. They know that I wrestle, but they don't know what it's like. You know what I mean? Like they don't know what it is at all. So I have nothing to talk about when I go in. It's like I go in and they talk about what they did the night before when they left work. Oh yeah, I left work and I like went, partied, drank, smoked, whatever. And like, here I am. I stayed up until like 6 a.m. and like came to work at 7. And I'm like, how do you live like that? I can't do that. I can't like just do something day to day like that. And then like, I feel like that's so boring to me. So I had nothing in common with these people. I would just go in, be totally dead inside, totally depressed. And I would barely talk to anybody because I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. So one day I almost called out sick from work. I woke up in the morning. Actually, no, I did. I woke up in the morning. It was super early too. I had to go to work at like 6:30. I woke up. I was just like, I don't want to go. I can't like be this depressed anymore. I don't want to go in there and feel that like it's killing me feeling anymore.
You're dying.
Yeah, I'm like dying. And so I messaged my friend Ike and I said, are you guys hiring at DDP Yoga? And he was like, actually, I'm about to move. So yes, you can have my position. But obviously I needed to get an interview and everything. So he goes, apply here. So I applied. Like I called out sick for my job at Chipotle. I called out sick. I was like, I can't come in. I go and I apply for DDP Yoga. I got an interview like the next morning or the same day. No, the next morning I got an interview, but I got a call the same day of the day that I applied. I got a call. We talked a little bit, scheduled the interview for the next morning, went in, had it. It went really well. Got a call later that afternoon. I got the job. So it was like, just like it worked out. It was meant to be. You know, he was leaving and then I came in, I took over for him and then smooth sailing from there. I'd actually like, obviously I love DDP now, but like over like the past time, I think that was like during my gap year. Like I wasn't watching much wrestling when he was around and, or like at all, you know, cause I was super young. but that was around the time frame, like, I just wasn't watching it as much. I feel like I didn't really, like, get super into wrestling until, like, 2013, 2014. That's when I really started watching, like, every single day that it was on. But, like, when Dallas found out that I was a wrestler, he, like, lit up, you know, he's super happy, super proud. Like, we never really talk about wrestling a lot either, like, advice or anything like that, because, like, it's just a work relationship. But over time, as I started to build my name and get more reputable promotions, stuff like that, like, he would just come in, mention wrestling, how's everything going, what you been up to, where are you working at this weekend, stuff like that. And, like, that was just really cool for me to be able to talk to him about stuff like that, you know. And then he came in one day, and he was like, first thing he said to me was like, oh, hey, you're going to work with Frankie up in Chicago. And I was like, yeah. And he knew him. He said that he hit him up and stuff like that. So, like, now he knows the places that I'm working at, and it's just really cool. And he's been very happy and proud of me lately. I definitely feel like when he saw my first AEW match, like with Nyla, even though I didn't do much, I did enough to where I, like, flipped the switch on him, you know, like, he looked at me in a different light after that, like, because he doesn't like, I don't like say like, hey, can you watch my matches, stuff like that. It's a work relationship. So it was more of like, he hasn't really seen my stuff, but then when he watched that, and then he's seen other stuff from AEW now too, and other things like that, he, you know, like I said, it just completely made him look at me in a different light, as not even just him. It's like him, Jake the Snake, Scott Hall, Raven, like, those 4 guys are people that I'm like close with now. Like, we're cool, and, like, they definitely saw me in different lights after that, which, and, like, a whole newfound respect for me. And then they would always talk about it after that, like, always bring it every time they see me now. They're like, you know, they talk about more of that stuff, or like what I'm doing next, and then give me some advice and everything. So that's like golden treasure chest advice that I keep.
Yeah, what are some of the advice that they gave you?
Raven says so much. Like, Raven's so smart, it's unbelievable. So he made me pull it up so that we could watch it again, like, after the first one that I did with Nyla, and he was just like, all right, pull it up, let's watch it. And I was like, all right. So, like, I'm at work and we pull it up, and, like, and then he was just talking to me about you know, my selling, my facials. Then he was talking about the story, because Raven's a big story guy. Yeah. So he was more about story stuff. When I talked to Jake, he wanted to see my entrance. That's the first thing he asked. And I was like, oh, they didn't show it. They just kind of, like, put me in during commercial, you know. So then came back and I was already out there, and he's like, oh, okay. But the entrance was really important for Jake, because he wanted to see how I carried myself and how I presented myself going down to the ring, because that's the first impression that everybody sees. So that really stuck with me too. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, that's what he cared about, was how I presented myself to everybody. And he was very proud of the entire match. He watched it with me as well. I pulled it up on my phone for him, and he watched the whole thing. And he was just like, you know, to watch his face go like, oh, that was good, or oh, that was cool. It was like cool for me. Yeah. And then afterwards, he just said that it was like really great, and he loved it. Same thing with Raven. And then Dallas has the Christmas party every year, so we were there. And that's the first time Scott talked to me about it, and he was like, oh, so I heard AEW stuff. Really great job. You know, you're really killing it. You looked really good out there. Gear looked great. Your shots looked good, you know, selling, everything. So that was cool. And then he asked me if I was doing more for them and stuff like that, because he's just, like, really into it. And then Dallas is super cool, because he, like, brings it up all the time now. Now he's, like, super, like, caring and heartfelt about wrestling with me. So he'll just, like, grab you by the face. Not really, but, like, grab you by the shoulders and just be like, you did so great and you're awesome, and, like, you know, you're gonna go somewhere. And so it's a very cool feeling. But yeah, the advice that I get from them is very good. Dallas, not so much the wrestling advice. His advice was more so taking care of myself and taking care of my body, you know. So he's just like, I want you to have a long career. Even when I first started working there, he's just all about, like, prolonging your career, because, like, look at where he came from. And then, you know, when he started, exactly, yeah, when he started at like 35, then had the back injury, said that his career was over, saw like 5 different doctors, and then he basically healed himself with DDP Yoga. So, like, he would always talk to me about that kind of stuff and be like, take care of your body, like, prolong your career as much as possible. And if you start now And if you just keep doing it now as frequently as, you know, like every day or like 20 minutes a day, something like that, it'll just like be that much better for you. So that's his concern. But everything else is like, the advice that I get is so cool. It's cool to like have those people in your corner, you know?
Oh, absolutely, man. Do you do the yoga program?
Of course. Yeah. I have to.
I got it. I worked there. No, I mean,
of course I do. I was hesitant at first, just because like I was like, whatever, no, I'll just work out and stuff. But I stretched. You know, it's funny too because before wrestling, I was very into yoga and like meditating.
Yeah.
But I didn't really know what I was doing. It was more on the meditating side because I was just trying to like stay at peace and whatever. But the DDP yoga stuff, obviously, it's not yoga. It's like a workout. So it can be very hardcore. You work up a huge sweat. It's like going for a run. You know, like get your heart rate super jacked up. And then, like, but yeah, like after my first DDP yoga session, I took one class. I took one beginner class. I had this pain in my back. It was like a shooting pain, like up my left or right side, something like that. And it was there for like 2 weeks, and I couldn't get rid of it. As much as I stretched, I tried to crack my back, whatever, and it wouldn't go away. So I finally took a beginner class at the DDP Yoga Performance Center, and like after the class was over, and they're like 15 minutes long, right after the class, I was like, oh crap, my back pain is gone. Like, what? Where did it go? What happened to it? And then it never came back. And I was like, what kind of magic is this? So that now I do it all the time because like I have to, you know, just to feel good all the time. And I don't do it every day, but I probably should step it up, especially now in quarantine. I've stepped it up definitely. Now I do a little bit of it once a day at least. Even if it's like just getting up out of bed in the morning, that's what Dallas would tell me to do. Even if it's like 15, 20 minutes to start your day, just like get up and get moving. You get up out of bed, you feel like stiff or sore, whatever. And he told me about this because I have like a neck issue. So like every morning I wake up, I feel like I'm in a car crash or something. Now it's way better, but it used to be bad. So then I would wake up, and he has this NXT warm up workout on the DDP Yoga app, and now I do that like all the time. So because it just like helps get you stretched, warmed up a little bit for the day, and it feels good.
It gets you going every morning. I got the program.
Yeah, I recommend it. Highly recommend it for anybody. Like, especially if you're a wrestler, it's like a no. Once you do it frequently and you realize how much it's helping you, like you'll never stop doing it. It's kind of like addicting in that way because what we want you to do is like take pictures of your progress too. So like if you can't bend over and touch your toes right away the first day, take another picture trying to bend over and touch your toes like 2 weeks later. And you're probably able to do it by then, you know. So
it definitely works. I got to tell you from experience. I was having issues. I have neck issues as well, and a little bit of back issue. But I do the wake up every morning, and then sometimes I'm doing the energy workouts. I got the DVD, so it works. It makes me feel way better. And when I don't do it, I can feel a difference. If I don't do it for like a couple days, I'm like, wow, there really is a difference.
Yeah, it really is. It's insane. I try to get my friends to do it all the time, like my other wrestling friends, and just try to like bring everybody in or get them the app or something like that, you know, just to be a helping hand, especially if I know somebody that's been through an injury like that and they need the help. They haven't done it yet. So I just like, here, do this. And then they feel fine eventually.
I got a new segment right here on these interviews. It's called the 2-minute drill. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you a whole bunch of random questions.
Oh God.
And whatever comes to mind first, whatever answer you want to give me, that Dani Jordyn would give me, that's what you're going to say. So I'm going to set the time, and then we're just going to go from there. It's completely random. You ready?
Okay, yeah, I'm ready.
Summer or winter?
Winter.
Beach or the pool?
Beach.
Favorite TV show?
Friends.
Beer, wine, or liquor?
Liquor.
Which liquor?
Whiskey. Crown.
Wow, nice. Chocolate, strawberry, or vanilla?
Vanilla.
Favorite movie genre?
Favorite movie what? Genre?
Yeah,
comedy.
Genre. Favorite comedy movie?
Oh God. Anchorman?
Board game of choice.
What's that?
Board game of choice.
Oh my God. Candyland.
Dream vacation.
Italy.
Checkers or chess?
Checkers.
Music of choice?
Hip hop.
iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Chicken Parmesan or sausage and peppers?
Chicken Parmesan.
Favorite hobby other than wrestling?
Writing sketch comedy.
Wow. TikTok or Instagram?
Instagram.
Best feature on a woman?
Butt.
Best feature on a man?
Arms.
80s or 90s?
90s.
Favorite junk food?
Gummy bears.
Steak or seafood?
Steak. I hate seafood.
Stone Cold or The Rock?
The Rock.
And does duct tape fix everything? Time's up. No, the answer's no. Time's up.
Yeah.
Oh.
I felt so much pressure.
I know. I can imagine.
I was like, oh God, I gotta be careful. Gotta be careful with my answers here.
I mean, listen, some serious questions here. I mean, chicken palm.
Yeah, I needed more time.
Well, I mean, you know what the funny thing is? You got most of the questions in 2 minutes.
I got most of them. We didn't get through all of them.
No, like there was two more left, but you hit most of them.
Let's do the other two.
The other two, it's a 2 minute. You'll never know the other two. We'll have to save that for another edition.
All right.
Well, I do have some more questions for you, Danny. Some fan questions. I sent out earlier on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Questions. I know you've seen that. So we have a question from Julian Castorina at Castorina Julian, and he asks, is it possible to be written off the burn book?
To be written off, like taken out?
Yeah.
No. You're in there forever. Even if we become friends afterwards, I don't think that I would take you out. I think you just, I don't know. Maybe I'd edit it and then put in the corner and write like, we're cool, but like, you know, you're still in there.
You're in there for life.
Or like, oops, sorry, didn't mean it that much, but yeah, you're still in there.
Oh, there's your answer. You're in there for life. TJ Housen at Ficky KFKF. I don't know where they get these names.
I don't know. It's like AOL names to me. I don't understand.
When will fetch finally be a thing?
At this rate, never. It's never going to happen.
The Ether Bunny at Ether Bunny 1 asks, will we see you back in NWA Power or on NWA Power?
I hope so.
I hope so too.
I can give. I hope so.
And at David Lien, I don't know. I'm butchering this right now, folks, but he asks, can we see that? Can we see what's in the burn book?
No.
Confidential.
Unless I show it on some kind of show that I'm doing at an event. Maybe I show. Sometimes I show the page, but usually it's just I show my opponent. You know, like in the ring. I'll be like, "Oh, you're in it," and then that's it. But no.
That's it. Final answer, no. 10 years, though. 10 years from now. My question to you, Danny. Where do you see yourself?
That's a good question. Usually I just do like 5 years from now. 10 years, I think I would like to have had my successful wrestling career. I don't know if I'll still be doing it in 10 years. It'll be kind of old. Oh my God, ew. I'd be like 36.
Oh, wow. That's not
no offense. No offense to
32,
anybody.
I now feel ancient.
No offense to anybody. No. It's not old at all. I'm just saying, like, to me, I'm like, oh crap, that's you know, whatever. Oh man, I would like to have had my successful wrestling career. I probably won't be wrestling anymore in 10 years from now, just to like save my body and stuff. Hopefully, I am transitioning maybe into acting. I'd like to do some movies and stuff like that. I'd like to do TV shows if I can. I would like to do some work on Saturday Night Live. And I don't know, man. It's kind of a toss-up from here. I've always had like a life plan. And then ever since I started wrestling, I had to change my whole life plan. And like now I'm just kind of going with wherever I get taken, you know, like I still have a plan, but it's more loose than what it used to be. So that's a hard question to answer.
You know,
have a successful wrestling career, you know?
I think you're going to do just that. I mean, again, I seen you in the ring between the promos and your in-ring work. Damn good athlete, Dani. So
thank you.
I think you will. You're welcome. And I can definitely also see you acting because, again, promos, I think, wrestlers are like underrated actors.
Yeah. That's also why I fell in love with it so much, too, because, like I said, I had no idea what I was getting into when it first started. So I went in and then found out all these things, like all these components that put it all together. And, like, I fell in love with it that much more. I was like, oh, man, there's so much that goes into it. It's hard, but, like, I love it. So the acting part of it, I was like, yes, this is awesome.
All right, Dani, the floor right now, it's going to be yours. Whatever you want to tell the fans out there or anything that you want to get off your chest, take it away.
I hate you all, and you're ugly.
Oh, man.
And
that was awesome. Straight to the point. Love it. Where can the fans find you / stalk you?
Please don't ever find me. But you can add me and follow me on Twitter at Dani Jordyn. I think it's just at Dani Jordyn now. And then on Instagram, it's just at Dani J. DINIJ. And if you need to spell Jordan because you're an idiot, it's JORDYN. Not ANYN. Period.
Well, Dani, I want to personally apologize because the first time that I met you, I think I might have had the coronavirus. I have no idea. I just was coming over the coronavirus. I was out of it. I mispronounced, your name on the interview, and you really forget about it. You really just destroyed me and everybody else that was walking by. So I want to apologize for that.
I interrupted that too. I remember that too. They were walking by, and I was like, "Can you shut up?"
Yeah, that was the owner. You told that too, and he was.
I
know. Mr. Cole, terrified. No fear. Yeah, it was zero fear, and I got to tell you, he loved it. He wants you back in a BCW ring. I mean, will you ever be back in a BCW?
The people love me. They love to hate me, which is good.
Exactly. They love to hate you, but Mr. Cole actually loves the attitude and loves just how real you are. So, can we see Dani Jordyn back inside of a BCW ring in the future?
Oh, yeah, of course. I'm down anytime.
That's it, folks. We're going to see you.
Pay
attention, because I'm telling you, Dani Jordyn, this young lady right here is going to be a huge star one day. And if you disagree, well, you might just end up in the book. Thank you, Dani. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You know, after talking to Dani Jordyn, is she really that mean? I mean, look, just don't piss her off or you're going in the burn book. And, well, in my book, Dani, you have a bright future. I appreciate you jumping on the curtain call, and we can't wait to see you back in a BCW ring. But, folks, faithful, it is now time to check in with some of our top talent and see how they're holding up during this time. Let's take a look.
Oh, BCW faithful. It is the heavy hitter, wig splitter, never quitter, big boy from Brooklyn, Tyree Taylor, 1/3 of the infamous Prolific. And management wants to know my plans for after the lockdown. And it's as simple as this. Right back to business, because I cannot wait till the doors open and this animal is loose. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to bring my boys, Marquis State of Mind, Marcus Marquis, the American Gangster, Isaiah Wolf, Prolific, is going to run full force into BCW Colossal Takeover. And you heard it here first. But if you want to be a part of the Prolific Nation, get you a shirt like this, just drop your size in the DMs. T_Taylor 347 on the Instagram, Tyree D. Taylor on Facebook. Hell, if you want to get a picture of Big Sexy just like this, let your boy know. And if you don't know, now you know. And if you knew before, you'll never forget. Big shout out to Jimmy J and Anthony Cole. What's up? Holla!
Hey everyone, this is referee Vincent Cantoni here. Just finished up my workout on my Bowflex machine. Crazy hair, I know, sorry about that. Getting real sick and tired of this quarantine life, but holding up pretty well. Been doing pretty good, getting on more podcasts, getting my name out there. Can't wait for things to go back to normal though. Going back to BCW and Bronx Wrestling Federation, Modern Vintage Wrestling, and other companies that I work for. One Division Pro, I'm the senior official over there. On social media, you guys can find me on Instagram at referee_Vincent_Cantoni. On Twitter, you can find me at refvincantoni. On Facebook, you can friend me, Vincent Cantoni. And subscribe to my YouTube channel, Referee Vincent Cantoni. See ya.
If you don't know, well, now you know. And if you knew before, you wouldn't even question the fact that Tyree Taylor is a top talent over here in BCW. I can't wait to see you back in the ring. You, Isaiah Wolf, Marcus Marquis, prolific, maybe even taking over BCW. Stay tuned for that. And shout out to Ref Vincent Cantoni, buddy. You do a phenomenal job wherever you go. Can't wait to see you doing your thing in the ring. But folks, stay tuned, because next week we have something special, something that I don't want to unveil yet, that I will be unveiling on the Bree Combination Wrestling social media platforms later in the week on what we're going to be doing for the next episode. So stay tuned for that. We're going to check in with some of the faithful fans again next week, and also check in with some of the talent. But as that curtain comes down, just remember that BCW, Bree Combination Wrestling, is where the future lives.